Welcome, students. Today, we're going to master the art of writing an analytical paragraph. This is an important part in English writing skills. You'll learn how to interpret charts, graphs, tables, and other data, and write clear, fact-based paragraphs. Let's begin.
An analytical paragraph is a short factual description based on visual data like a chart, graph, or table. You don't give your opinion, you simply describe the data clearly and logically. These paragraphs are usually 100 to 120 words long and focus only on what the data shows. Every analytical paragraph has three main parts. The introduction briefly states what the data is about. The body gives details, figures, and comparisons. And the conclusion summarizes the key point or trend. These three parts help keep your writing organized and easy to follow. You may be asked to describe different types of visuals, such as bar graphs, line graphs, tables, or pie charts. Each of these shows data in a different way, but the method of writing your paragraph remains the same. Always begin by carefully reading the data. Use formal and simple English to describe what you observe. Look for trends, what increases, decreases, or stays the same. Use linking words like however, in contrast, or similarly to connect your ideas clearly. Use these useful phrases to make your writing smooth and clear. For example, the graph shows a steady rise in sales, or it is clear that students prefer reading over gardening. These help your paragraph sound more polished and organized. Sample question 1. The given line graph provides information about changes in birth and death rates in New Zealand between 1901 and 2101. Write an analytical paragraph summarizing the information and make comparisons where relevant in about 100 to 120 words.
Model answer. The graph displays birth and death rate trends in New Zealand from 1901 to 2101. Birth rates were consistently higher than death rates from 1901 to 2041, starting at 20,000 in 2007. 1901, births peaked around 65,000 in 1961, and later fluctuated between 50,000 and 60,000. A decline is expected, reaching 42,000 by 2101. Meanwhile, the death rate was 10,000 in 1901 and has steadily increased. It is projected to rise sharply from 2021 and level at about 60,000 between 2061 and 2081, slightly decreasing by 2101. A significant gap between 2021 and 2025, the two rates, is evident from 1961 to 2001, which will narrow in the future. By the century's end, deaths are expected to surpass births, reversing the earlier pattern. Sample question 2. The given chart shows the division of household tasks by gender in Great Britain. Write an analytical paragraph describing the chart in not more than 100 to 120 words. Model answer. Bar graph. The chart shows how household chores are divided by gender in Great Britain, measured in average minutes per day. Women spend about 4 hours daily on household tasks, while men spend less than 2.5. Women devote more time to cooking, cleaning, childcare, and laundry, approximately 200 minutes, nearly 3 times more than men. In contrast, men spend more time on gardening and odd jobs, almost double that of women. Gardening and pet care take about 50 minutes for men and only 30 for women. Time spent by men on washing, ironing, and sewing is minimal, around 2 minutes, compared to 25 minutes by women. Overall, women handle the majority of domestic chores, while men contribute mostly to outdoor and maintenance activities. Sample question 3. The given pie chart shows proportion of people from different households living in a state of poverty in the UK in the year 2002. Write an analytical paragraph based upon the information provided in about 100 to 120 words. Model answer. The pie chart shows the distribution of different household types living in poverty in the UK in 2002. Sole parents made up the largest segment at 26%, followed by single individuals without children at 24%. Couples with children accounted for 15%, while couples without children represented just 9% of poor households. Among the elderly, single-aged individuals formed 7%, and age couples made up 5%. Overall, 14% of all UK households were living in poverty that year. The data highlights that younger households, especially single parents and individuals without children, were more affected by poverty compared to elderly groups. It also suggests that couples without children were generally in a better financial position than those who had children. Sample question 4. The following table shows details about the different internet activities for 6 categories of people according to different age groups. Study the table and write an analytical paragraph based upon it in about 100 to 120 words. Model answer. The table outlines internet usage patterns across 6 age groups, from teenagers to those in their 70s, based on 6 online activities. Teenagers show the highest interest in online gaming, with 81% engaging in it. They also participate in downloading and reading news. In contrast, people aged 20 to 60 mostly use the internet for reading news, researching products, and shopping online, with usage ranging between 70% and 80%. The interest in downloading content decreases with age, reaching just 6% among seniors. Searching for people is the least popular activity across all age groups, with less than 30% engagement. In summary, younger users favor games and downloads, while older groups primarily use the internet for product research and online purchases. When writing analytical paragraphs, avoid common mistakes. Never add your own opinion. Don't repeat the same points. Use formal language and check grammar and spelling. Stick to what the data shows. Nothing more, nothing less. It's time to practice. Pick any graph or table from your textbook. Use the introduction body conclusion format. Write clearly and focus on trends. After writing, review and edit to improve accuracy. Practice is the best way to master this skill. Let's quickly recap. First, understand the data clearly. Use the 3-part structure: introduction, body, and conclusion. Use helpful linking words to connect your ideas. And most importantly, practice regularly. That's how you'll become confident in analytical writing.
Prepared by K. Rajendra Prasad.